Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Laura if you don't know, and I have two girls aged 3 and 7. As a family, last year we had the Merlin Annual Pass. So I thought I would do like a roundup video and basically was it worth it for us at the time with a 2 and a 6-year-old. We had the annual pass and we bought them in the January sale, which I think they do every year, and it's actually on at the moment. I don't know whether by the time this video goes up it will have passed, but we paid £387 for 3 premium passes. I didn't obviously need one for Roma because in most attractions in fact all of the attractions she goes free because she was under 3 and would be for the duration. So our passes, I think, expire next week and she's just turned 3, so we're not going anywhere else anyway. So yes, it was £387 for all of them, and the reason we went for the premium passes was because there was no date restrictions. With the standard ones, there are some date restrictions over, especially in August with some of the attractions. Each one are different, but yeah, they have some date restrictions, so you can't go in August, I think it is, to Legoland specifically. So we didn't want that, and it was £90 more each for having the premium. So that, along with the car parking being included and priority entry, which means that you don't have to queue, because I've got a muscle condition as well, which I find it really difficult to walk or stand for a long time. It was just definitely worth it for us, and actually we've probably got that back in car park and the things that we've gone to for the year. So I would say that for us with Roma, she was 90 centimetres because she's quite tall for her age, and that's the lower limit of some of the smaller rides. Obviously there are family rides that you can all go on together, and lots of other attractions which don't have rides, not like the theme park ones like the London Eye and things that there's no height restrictions. But for us, I think it was important to be near that, especially throughout the year, that she would be 90 centimetres so that she got to enjoy some of the rides, because obviously that's why they're free, because there's less for them obviously to be able to do. So I'll just have a recap of what we did and the kind of the value for money I think that you get, because there's an outlay of £300, £400, £500. It seems quite a lot. So yeah, we knew we were going to make the most of it, but as a working family with children at school, then I think we had a conservative amount. We don't live close to any of the attractions particularly. Our closest is Alton Towers, because we live in Staffordshire, but none of them are like that we would go to necessarily every weekend. And because the seasons run April until October in the bigger theme parks, obviously those are the times where you can actually go to those. So outside of that, it's Sea Life and the attractions in London, so Shrek's Adventure and the London Eye. So yeah, there's other things obviously to do outside of the season, but the big season is April, I think it's April, it might be May, until October. So what we did is, the first one, we ordered it online and we chose to pick it up at the Sea Life Centre in Birmingham. So when you actually buy your passes, it doesn't start until you pick them up. So you can delay it. Say for example your pass doesn't expire until June, but you want to buy it in the sale in January, then you can do that, and then the time that you pick it up, that's actually the date when your pass starts. So yeah, ours started in February, and then we used the February half term to go to Legoland Discovery Centre in Manchester, and they also just next door have the Sea Life Centre there. My girls have been to the Sea Life Centre before in Birmingham a few times, and I was really pleased to find out that Manchester, although obviously it's the Sea Life Centre and a lot of the things are the same, it was also really different, and there was lots of different things that they could see. So yeah, I kind of expected it to be the same but in a different location, and it wasn't, and I really like that. The Legoland Discovery Centre, we went to that obviously before we went to Legoland Windsor, and I wasn't massively impressed with it there. It was going under some refurbishment, so maybe that's why, and we might well, have gone back a bit after. But it was really, really busy, and although we got the priority entry, we queued like outside. There was a really long queue, and they just like came to you in the queue to see if you'd got it every now and then. I think we waited for about 45 minutes to get in, and there was just a lot of waiting around. I don't think it was particularly organised, and the girls didn't enjoy it that much. What they enjoyed was big buckets of Lego, which of course we could do at home. It was definitely worth going, but I think if I'd have just specifically paid for that, I might have been a bit disappointed. But like I say, the sea life after was brilliant. And we got the place basically to ourselves because it was like 4 o'clock. So they had like a big turtle talk as soon as you walk in, and that was fab. Really liked that. The next one we went to, actually we didn't go to anything from February to April, and that's when we went to Legoland Windsor. That's definitely the best one that we went to, and the reason we bought the passes, because because we knew we wanted to go for 2 days, if we had bought that separately in itself, it would have cost us about £300. So I know that there's like 2-for-1 deals and things, but generally it would have cost us about £300 for the 2 days for all of us. So at £387 for the passes, it was really a no-brainer. I do wish that we'd made the time to go to Legoland Windsor again, but time just gets away from you, doesn't it? And that's the thing with these things, is we have bought annual passes for places before and not felt that we've got the value out of it, because time does just get away from you, and you've got other things to do and children's parties and work and all the rest of it. So conservatively, yeah, this is what we did. Legoland Windsor was brilliant. We really enjoyed it. As I said, because we went over the 2 days, it was kind of relaxed. It was quite busy. It was the Easter holidays, and it was sunny. I think it was over the bank holiday. So I expected it to be busy, and it was, but not too busy. It was really brilliant. There was enough for the girls both to go on, and they really enjoyed it. I must admit that there were a few things that Roma couldn't go on that Eva could, so of course Roma was upset about that. And we didn't get to go on everything, but our expectation before was we knew that would happen. So we weren't bothered about that at all, and we didn't really know what to expect because we don't know anybody that's actually been. We stayed off-site, and the hotel, we stayed at a De Vere. It was beautiful, like Beaumont, I think it was called. It was really reasonably priced with interconnected rooms, and it was just amazing. I did vlog about it, and we didn't go actually because it was the first time the children were sharing a room, and it was hideous. But thankfully, Legoland got coffee. So the next day, we just about made it. We did take food with us actually, because the food in Legoland Windsor and all of the parks really is expensive. Even though you do get 20% off with your Merlin Pass, it is quite expensive and it's not all that healthy. So we took packed lunches with us, and then afterwards we left the park just a little bit earlier and went to Wagamama's in Windsor, which is lovely because you get to see like Windsor Castle as well. So it was like making a bit more of it, and we paid the same price for a Wagamama for all of us as we would for, I don't know, like a hot dog or something in the park. But their favourite part of Legoland was Miniland. They absolutely loved it, and they would just wander around and look at everything, and Eva was fascinated by how things worked, and obviously Roma just came along for the ride. But I think their second favourite would have been the show that we went to. We happened to be around when the pirate show was on in, I think it's the Land of Friends, Lego Friends or something like that, and that was really good. Again, it was really busy. We didn't sit in the actual seat like arena area. We sat around the outside eating an ice cream, but it was really, really good, and it got their attention for quite a long time. So I definitely suggest going to see like a show or something a little bit different. But if you've seen the shows and you don't want to watch them again, then obviously the rides around there are quieter at that time as well because everyone's watching the shows. We went glamping then in August. In between those times we had been to the Sea Life, I think, a couple more times, and we went to Alton Towers as well. But with it being school, we didn't really, from April to August, again, we didn't really get a chance to go because most of them are a couple of hours drive from us. So yeah, we went glamping in Surrey in August, and whilst we were there, we went to Brighton. Now, this is my gripe with the Merlin Pass. If you actually forget your pass, the actual physical, oh sorry about the sun there, your actual physical pass, there's nothing you can do about it. They don't have a database, you can't get in. So we'd gone to Brighton and they've got a sea life there, which is apparently amazing, and yeah, we couldn't go in, which was a real shame. Lesson learnt though, and on the way back from glamping in Surrey, we went to Chessington World of Adventures, and that was probably, other than Legoland Windsor, for the obvious reasons it's a lot bigger, Chessington World of Adventures we didn't have any expectations of at all, and it was brilliant for the children. It got a lot more smaller rides, it was a lot smaller in footprint, so like say for example Alton Towers, and Legoland actually, there's lots of space for you to get away from things and beautiful gardens, and there isn't that at Chessington World of Adventures, but it means that there's a lot less walking. We managed it, we took the pushchair obviously, but we managed it without it. That was basically a carrier for all of that stuff. And the treetop, what's it called? The treetop nets, I think it is, that's it. The treetop nets were a huge hit for both of the girls actually. It was tricky for Roma to get around, we had to go around with her, but Eva absolutely loved it. And just around that area there is lots of rides for smaller children. So they had the Gruffalo ride, which is the first thing we went to when we got there, because that's the newer one, so we knew it would be busy. But with Chessington World of Adventures, which I really liked, is they overestimated the queue time. So I think it was the Gruffalo ride when we first got there, it said, excuse me with the sun, let me move that. Excuse me. Yeah, so it said about 45 minutes, I think, and it was only 30. And that's what you want, isn't it? You want to get to the front and feel like you've been given the gift of time, whereas Legoland Windsor was the opposite, and we queued for probably about an hour and 15 minutes when it had said 45 minutes for the Atlantis, and it wasn't the best ride anyway. It's a little bit rushed, but yeah, we were kind of annoyed by the time we'd already get to the front, because the expectations that we had got ourselves and also given the girls were, yeah, it was just a bit annoying. So I love that about Chessington, because they did the opposite. We saw the Gruffalo, they've got like a Gruffalo arena as well, and so they can do, we didn't do the meet and greet, which you can do there, but we watched the like show, and the girls love that, all interactive. And yeah, we went on a lot of things there, so the girls really loved that one. If it was closer, we definitely would have done more trips there. Alton Towers, we have been quite a few times anyway, because it's our closest one, and we went twice, which might not seem a lot, but because we've been before and we wanted to make sure that we went to the other places, yeah, that's just what we got time to do. So one was in the summer and the other one was at Halloween for their Scarefest. I loved the Halloween one because it's something a little bit different, but also I think they handled it really well with young children. Mine aren't really big CBeebies children, they don't watch TV, but we got some of the rides on CBeebies they really liked. But they have a lot of shows at Halloween which all tell you who they're suitable for, and it although it can be scary, like obviously Halloween is a bit scary and a bit freaky, so there's a lot of that around. If the staff there see that they're either a little bit frightened or that there's small children around, they instantly change. And they were doing like a dance troupe when we got there, and one of the children looked like really frightened, and she completely changed one of the dancers completely changed her demeanour and actually came up to the child and just did a bit more kind of children's TV presenter about it, and made that child feel better, and I love that. I think that's really good. So we went to see a couple of shows there, and the girls absolutely loved it. There was a lot of audience participation and fun, and it was just really good. So I would definitely suggest going there at Halloween. Their favourite ride at Alton Towers was the pirate water ride. the second time we went, we took their all-in-one waterproofs because it's definitely needed. As soon as you sit down, you've got like a wet bottom, and that's no fun for anybody, especially in October. And the other one was the driving school. Yeah, the cars, the driving school, which Roma was too small for, so she cried for quite a while because there was a really long queue. So I had to take her off and distract her, but she cried quite a bit for that one, bless her. At Christmas, we also then went to London, because with the Merlin Pass is the London Eye, Stretch Adventure and the Sea Life Centre, which is all within like 5 minutes of each other. So just behind the London Eye is where Stretch Adventure is. We didn't get time to go because we were also there for a river cruise. We didn't get time to go to the Sea Life, which I'm really sad about because it's meant to be amazing. But we knew we'd only get a chance to do one, so we chose Stretch Adventure. That was really good. It was really different. It's like a walk along experience, and I'm really glad we went there. You couldn't film, so I haven't got much footage or anything of in there because you couldn't film it, but that was brilliant. We had like a 4D cinema sort of experience where you sat in the car, and the girls really loved that. There was a whole like fairy tale. There was like, you go through rooms, but there was like a fairy tale that went through it, like a story. So each character like passed on to the other, and one of them took a bit of a shine to Eddie, which was all part of the story, but because she did, she like asked him to go and do something, go and find something, I think. And he'd got Roma at the time, so I picked Roma up, and she wailed at the fact that he'd gone behind this door, and I don't know whether she thought he'd gone forever. But again, the lady was really good about it and handled it really well. So I'm glad we went to Stretch Adventure, so that was really good. And the London Eye. So we went on that first, and this is where I think the best of the Merlin Pass priority comes in, or the premium, because it was quite busy. Obviously it was Christmas, I think it was the first weekend of Christmas, like the first or second, and it was really busy. But we went straight up. Roma was actually asleep at the time, but we went up and we got it on within 5 minutes, despite there being huge queues because of the priority. So that was fantastic. In terms of was it worth it, we have ummed and ahed about getting the Merlin Pass again this year, and I think, although it's so hard, I think we've decided not to. And the main reason for that is because we did so much last year with all of the parks. I don't think that we would have that drive to go again this year. And Roma, obviously you have to pay for Roma now, she's over 3, so it would be £550. Again, I think that maybe next year or the year after, when we want to take them and they're both big enough, because we'll pay the same price, they're both big enough for everything and more confident, we will definitely do it again. I just don't think that outlay right now, we can actually make the most of it. For the last year, however, I think it was the best thing we ever did. We went to the Sea Life Birmingham 3 times, Legoland Windsor obviously over 2 days, Alton Towers twice, the London Eye, Stretch Adventure, Legoland Discovery, Chessington World of Adventures and Manchester Sea Life. So for the £387, we definitely got the most out of it. It saved us a lot of money had we gone to those things, obviously without having the pass. And really it was just brilliant to have something ready there and then to, if we got to half term, if we got days off, if we got a nice weekend, we just went and did it, and it didn't actually cost us anything, especially with the car parking. It didn't cost us a lot to go on those big days out and make those memories. So I'm definitely 100% glad that we did it last year, and I don't know, I'm still on the fence for this year. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that was helpful if you were wondering whether to get one or not, and I hope you have lots of fun too. See you next time.